those. And you can do whatever you like with it. It could be kind of like a little competition, if you like that sort of thing. Because Mrs. Rankin and I were sort of joking about what you could do with this. Like, you could chop it up and you could call it the life of secret objects, or, you know, like you could jumble it around, or you could maybe turn each letter into an object by drawing over it with black fine liner. You could literally just colour it in, which might be quite pleasing and quite a nice thing to do. Or you can literally just trim it a little bit and glue it into your book and it's finished, okay? So that's up to you what you do with that, but that's going to be your title page. Now if you're really, really like, yuck, I hate those letters, I want to do my own letters, totally fine with me, okay? So we usually start with some kind of title page, just so that we know where the beginning of the project is, okay? That's kind of like just lots of different ways of making marks. It's quite a nice sheet, I might give you that one. Now I've got a table of contents, and you might like to do this because your visual diary is completely blank, and sometimes it's a bit hard to remember where things are. So if you're the sort of person that really likes being organised, you could have a page in your visual diary that is your table of contents, and as you add things into your visual diary, you can just add another page on here. Okay? Some of you are nodding, thinking, yes, that's an excellent idea, I really like that idea. Others of you are kind of going, what? And if that's you, then just don't worry about that. You don't have to do that. That's just a suggestion. Now, this is the beginning of my natural objects page, which is the first page we are going to do together, and we're going to start it today. So, I'm going to give you a natural object, which happens to be a lovely little crinkly leaf from the outside hedge. Now, you've walked past that hedge probably a number of times, but have you really seen it? Have you really noticed the shapes of the leaves? They're quite gorgeous and sort of a little bit crinkly. So, I'll probably give you one between two, so you need to agree about how the leaves are placed. I think I might place mine like that. I really like it when I can see the bottom of the leaf and the top of the leaf. I find that quite a pleasing sort of shape. But you might think, oh no, that's way too hard, and kind of arrange it some other way. You're going to have, I'd say, a good 20 minutes at least to draw the leaf. And what you could do, stop poking each other, is photograph the leaf with your phone, if you've got a phone that you can do photographs with, and then you've got a recording of how it looks today, because it's going to look different tomorrow, right? Or tonight when you're finishing it off. Okay, I'm just going to show you how to do this, and then I'm going to kind of lead you into the process of observation using a mindfulness technique. Okay, now are any of you in Mrs. Christopherson's tutor group? No? Okay, she's been teaching her tutor group how to do mindfulness, so I just thought some of you might know. Hands up any of you who've done mindfulness practice before. Anybody? Basically, it's just a way of paying attention. It's a way of learning how to pay attention to stuff. Anyway, right now I just want you to pay attention to what I'm doing here. Okay? So what I'm doing is I'm kind of looking at the general shape of those leaves, and I'm just placing a general sort of shape onto the page. I'm not worrying about details at all. All I'm doing is just sort of placing where I'm going to put stuff. That's my sort of general placement of the leaves. And then once I've kind of placed it, and I want you to draw them quite big, like this, then what I want to do is start refining those shapes that we've got there. And what you might notice is that I'm using a soft pencil, I'm using a 6B, which is in your pack. And if you haven't got a 6B, it's not a big disaster, you can just use some other kind of pencil. And what I'm trying to do is look quite a lot. 1, 2, 3, sort of 3 dips. 1, 2, 3, that one dips down quite low. And you can see at the moment my drawing is really messy. It's not that neat. So I'm just trying to get how that curves in there. See a little bit there. As I'm getting a little bit more confident with what I'm doing, I'm going to press a little bit harder. I'm looking up, and you can see if this is true. I'm looking up at what I'm trying to draw every 5 seconds or so. Now, a lot of people don't do that when they draw. They look at the object once and then they stop looking at it. It's a little wobbly bit on the end here. Interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to try and draw the other side of this leaf. Just down, out. It goes into there. Oops, it's a bit higher. Now, I'm the sort of teacher that's quite happy for you to use a rubber, but maybe not straight away. Try and get a lot of the leaves drawn in first, and then have a go at rubbing it after. Obviously, we've got a few layers of leaves here, and some of the layers are lighter than others, like that leaf there is quite a lot lighter, eh? So to show that that leaf's darker, I might do some cross-hatching, that kind of cross-hatching, and then it's even darker under here. Hopefully you're able to concentrate on this, because the more you can watch and really observe how I'm doing this, the easier it will be for you to do it, because this really interesting thing happens in your brain when you watch somebody else doing something. It's your brain almost thinks that you're doing it yourself, and the only bit of information that tells you that you're not drawing and I am drawing is the feeling of touch. That you can't feel what I'm feeling, but everything else you're sort of able to kind of process, which is pretty interesting. So what I would probably do now is get a rubber and just start to fix up this weird bit here, but also I want to show how the top of the leaf is darker than the bottom part of the leaf, okay, by doing a bit of shading. And you can see if we flip back to this sheet, this section here has got really good shading. So there's diagonal shading, like what I'm doing here, and then there's cross-hatching. So there's a little bit of cross-hatching there, eh? Once I'm more confident, then I can start to smooth it out and get more precise edges on things. And get this, I can even do some shadows. Shadows are a really cool way of making things look a bit more realistic. If I show a little bit of a shadow, nice soft kind of thing happening underneath. Okay? So you're going to collect a whole lot of natural objects. You're going to draw them, find them on the internet, print them out, put them in your book. And ideally, what kind of natural objects do you think I want you to find? Why do you say that? You could have a flower. What sort of things do you think you would like to have in your painting? Yeah?
Like things that are, like not every one of them looks exactly the same.
Why do you say that?
Because you don't want your painting to look exactly the same as someone next to you.
Yeah, and so what would be a way of making your flower or your natural object unique?
By choosing
Yes, yes you could, but there's another way of thinking about that. Rather than thinking I want to be different to my friend, what could your starting point be? Yeah?
You can express your own personality.
And how could you do that with a flower?
The color, like you can pick the color that you like personally.
Yeah. So instead of worrying what anybody else is doing, you could just think, my favourite colour is bright pink, I'm going to have a bright pink flower. So that's the kind of thinking I want you guys to do. I want you to think, what do I want and what would be meaningful? What would be another way of finding a meaningful natural object? Natural object. Any ideas? Do we have natural objects that are connected to our identity? Like what? Pardon? No? Can you not think of any natural objects that are connected to our identity as maybe New Zealanders or maybe someone from Japan? Or, yeah?
Maybe some sort of like something that
Yes, exactly. So someone from Canada might just have a maple leaf. Exactly. Yep. Do you understand now a bit more about choosing your natural object? So I'm giving you one now, but I want you to choose one, and this is your first homework, and it's going to be due on Monday. And I want you to fill up 2 pages with drawings, photographs. Say you chose a thistle, print out 10 different thistles. You know, have a lot of options, or you could even have lots of different kinds of natural objects if you can't choose. Another way of choosing is to actually find it yourself. And you might already have some natural objects at home, like shells or feathers or things. I don't know if you do. Anyone got anything like that at home in their bedroom? Yeah? What have you got in your home, in your bedroom?
Shells.
Yeah. So you might find a natural object that's meaningful because you found it and you selected it and you thought it was kind of precious. Okay? Right, do you all understand what to do? Okay, so right now we're actually going to do the mindfulness exercise. So just to prepare, all I want you to do is write natural objects at the top. Okay?